Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and as you can see I have some pretty colors here on my work surface. But before I get started, I want to go over something. A while back I had asked for suggestions from you guys as to what you would like to see, see me do a tutorial on, and someone, and I wish I could go back and find it, but there's really not a good way to search comments on YouTube, but somebody had asked about doing an Aurora technique. Now what I'm assuming, and I'm only, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I'm assuming that the Aurora technique is, I'm sorry, I'm starting to overthink things. I'm assuming they mean the Aurora Borealis, which is the Northern Lights, they're called. It's a gorgeous, I've seen them a few times when I was a child. I haven't seen them since then. But I did see them, like I said, when I was a child. But they are lights that form in the northern hemisphere in the Arctic area, and if you're lucky enough for them to come down far enough, you can, maybe people in the northern United States can see them. But it's just beautiful colors that streak through the sky, and they glow and they pulsate, and they're really pretty. But so I'm assuming that that's what they meant, but then I've also seen people that have done similar canes using color. So I thought I would try two different ones, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to try this one first, and then I'll do another video on the Aurora cane number 2. But first I wanted to give you another, I've done this before, but I want to give you another little short tutorial on color. Now let me come in so you can see these. Alright, I'm going to lay this down on the clay. It shouldn't be too bad. But this is a color wheel. And usually you have, well, not usually, but you have 3 primary colors, and that's red, yellow, and blue. Every other color on the spectrum is made from different combinations of those 3 colors. So you see, if you have the yellow here and the blue here, the secondary color is green. So if you have the yellow here and the red here, the secondary color is orange, and then the red and the blue secondary color is violet. Now these colors look very good. The primary colors look very good together. Red and green, the ones directly across the color wheel. Red and green, those are Christmas colors. You see red and green all the time. But if you mix red with green, you're going to get mud. Same thing with blue and orange. They're right directly across from each other. Blue and orange look really nice together. But you mix them together, you get mud. Another one is purple and yellow. Everything, how many colors do you see in nature that are combinations of purple and yellow? And they're gorgeous, but if you mix the two together, you're going to end up with mud. So I just want you to kind of keep this in mind. If you don't have a color wheel, you should either look one up online or get one in a book, or they even have, I've got a color wheel somewhere on this desk. I haven't come across it yet, but I haven't done a lot on this desk yet, so I'm sure I will find it. I just don't know which pile to look in. I thought I had looked in everything, but I evidently haven't. So that's why I pulled out my book. Now this color index book is one that Kim Cavender recommended this when I was with her, and I don't remember if it was at the Florida Fandango or if it was at Shrinemont, but it's different color combinations that go together. And, it's just really handy for those of you, if you're like me and you're color challenged, to know what colors will go together. I am terrible when I'm very challenged when it comes to color. But let me come back out. And what I'm going to do, I got stuff from the book on my clay. Each one of these is one square of Primo clay. The little, your block of clay is divided into 4 little sections. Each one of these is one section of clay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll these up. I'm going to try not to get any air in it by rolling from the center out, or pressing from the center out. I don't know why my tongue isn't working today, except it's been so cold here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a teardrop. Now, if any of you have watched Cindy Leitz on any of her videos, she has developed an easier way to do a Skinner blend. Now, I could put these into triangles and line them up and try to get everything done that way, but I think this would be much easier. But you will see, I have got my clay lined up in the colors of the color wheel. Let me show you. My first color is red, which is here. And then I'm going around this way. The second one is violet, then blue, then green, and then I'm using gold for yellow. This is magenta pearl. This is purple pearl, peacock pearl, bright green pearl, and gold. So what I'm going to do is just roll these into a teardrop shape. And I am going to press it down a little bit. But Cindy just made it so much easier to do these blends, especially when there's multiple colors involved. So Cindy's got a lot of videos out there. If you get a chance to watch any of her videos, she has been making them for years, and she's very talented. Has a lot of things to learn. She's also a good source for color recipes. Oh, I'm afraid that's going to create an air bubble the way that was shaped. I'm just trying to get it closer to a circle. And then roll it in my hands to make it sort of a shape of a ball. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then just roll it to one side, and it makes a teardrop. And I'll put that there, and I'm going to mash this down a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing with all of my colors. Okay, so I've got them all rolled into teardrops, and I'm going to flatten them out a little bit, especially on one side, because I want it to go through my pasta machine. And it's easier if one side of it is a little bit narrower, but they should be all pretty well rolled together. I'll show you what I mean. See how it's thicker here, but it's narrow there. That's the part I'm going to put through my pasta machine. And let me just do this one time on camera. So you can see what I've done. And then I'm going to fold this up and try to keep my colors in the right place. And I'm going to roll this through again. And I'm rolling on the thickest setting of my pasta machine. And I'm always getting questions about the type of pasta machine that I use. I am using a Mercato Atlas 150. It's Italian made pasta machine. It's of course not made for clay, but it is made to last. And I also use a Norpro motor on my pasta machine. And that is, both of them are on my Amazon page. So if you want to click the link below, I think it's probably under Polymer Clay Tools. Go to my Amazon page and you'll see both of them. So I'm going to turn the camera off while I blend this a little bit, and then I'll be back. Okay, I think I don't want to blend it anymore. I didn't want to make it an actual blend. What I wanted to do is smooth out the edges between these colors, and I think that I've done really well. So what I did is I start out, let me cut this little tongue off. I start out rolling my clay on the thickest setting of the pasta machine, which on my machine is a number 0. And then after I got it going, I moved it down to a number 3 because it blends quicker and easier if the thinner the setting is. So now I've got this pretty blend, and you can see it goes from the red to the purple to the blue to the green to the yellow to the gold. I love this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this into, I'm going to fold it in half. Whoops. Got a little piece of gold on my finger. And I'm going to roll from the center out so that there's no air trapped in there. Then I'm going to fold it in half again. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run this, again I'm going to narrow this end. I'm going to run this through the pasta machine, but I'm going back to the thickest setting because now this is 4 layers thick. You can see how thick it is. So I'm going to go to the thickest setting, and I'm going to roll it through this way. And you can see that elongates this. It also makes the colors a little bit off so you don't have the straight lines, but that's fine. And then I am going to try to straighten out this edge a little bit. But this is on the thickest setting, so now I'm going to go down to the 3rd thickest setting, which is the number 3. And I think I'm going to go down to the number 5 and run it through again. I'm trying to get it very thin, and you'll see why in a minute. Let me turn this on. Okay, so now you can see how long this is. It goes from the red all the way down to the gold. Now here you need to decide what you want to be your center. And I believe I want the gold to be my center. So I'm going to fold this over and make sure there's no air in it. Then I'm just going to start. Let me come in just so you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if I can get this where you can see it just because of the angle and the amount of clay that I've got here, but I will try. Okay, see where I'm just pressing up a little bit on the edge? Right now it's just pressed up a little bit. Then I'll eventually push it over. Just going to cut that little piece off because it makes it uneven. And this starts sorry, let me clean this off. This starts the rolling process. I just don't want to get any other clay on my roller, but I'm going to just start rolling with this. And this kind of helps, using an acrylic block helps to keep it even pressure. Every once in a while, stop and move your, press in your ends, and then you can continue rolling a little bit. And press your ends in. I hope this is going to turn out as pretty as I thought it would. And here you can go ahead and start and roll the rest with your hand. Just be careful not to put finger grooves in it. So now we have a cane. And when I switched over to doing it by hand, I ended up getting a little bit of air in there. So I'm going to just press it and make sure I get that air out. But you can see now we have this cane that is going from red, or in this case magenta, all the way into gold. Now you might like to leave it just the way it is. But what I want to do is I want to compress this cane a little bit. I want to make it bigger around and a little bit fatter. And I'll press it from both sides so both ends can get flat. So now I have a little bit bigger plug. And what I want to do is start slicing, but I want to start slicing, actually I'll start slicing here, but this is probably going to just give us magenta. Oh, there's some blue. And just keep slicing, and your colors will change. And slice it as thin as you can, because what you're doing is creating a thin cover. Well, this one, and even this can be used. I'll put this up here, but look at that. Let me finish this slice. But you can see, like this shows it pretty well. See the striations in here? And as thin as I rolled it, I still have pretty good sized striations. If I had left a thicker layer, if I had tried doing this when it was rolled to the #1 setting, it would have been a fatter stripe instead of being thin like this. So I really like the thinner stripe. And I'm going to try to slice as thin as I can. But you can just see how this changes. There's another one I kind of messed up a little, but the thing is, even messed up, it's still going to work. I'm going to just finish slicing that cane off. But you can see where I'm going with this. Now what you need to do is, if you have some scrap, and let me show you my scrap bin. And you know, I was keeping it in bowls and I just got too much. But I'm going to take, say this, because it's got some of the similar colors in it. Here, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to roll this out to where I can put it in the pasta machine on the thickest setting. And what I'll do is get out a cutter, and it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the size of your cutter. But to get beads the same size, you use the same cutter. Cut out your scrap clay, and then you can roll these into whatever shape you want. But I just want to show you what you can do with these. Alright, so that's sort of a football shaped bead, and I'll just leave that because you don't always have to have a round bead. And I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to lay this across. That didn't go all the way, so let me roll it through the pasta machine. I'm going to go down to a number 5. Then I'm going to take it and lay it on this base. And what you'll see I'm just going to pinch these ends off. We're not getting any of the red on this one, except maybe on the very tips. But now you can roll this in your hand. And there you have a gorgeous multicolored bead. You might want to just smooth this a little bit, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now this one, it's the same amount of clay. So if I did the little football shaped bead, they would be the same size. Let me just tighten out these ends a little bit. I'm going to roll it in the other direction this time. Still going to make it football shaped. I'm going to roll this through. And this time I'm going to roll it this way with the yellow in the middle, except it's not going to reach. But let's just see what happens. You can roll that down, because you've got red on that side and red on this side, so you can overlap that. And then you can just either pinch or slice off some of this extra clay. Just make sure you close up your seams. Let me show you what I mean by that. See, like right here it left a little opening. Just make sure you take your clay and close that up. So this one I'm going to roll. And there's another one that's got the color in the middle. But they're going to be the same size. You might have to lengthen this one out a little bit, since that's what I did with the other one. But this is just one of the things you can do with this. You can continue slicing, and you're going to continue getting different colors each time. Let me take this one and roll it that through the pasta machine. Now look at that. Isn't that pretty? And they're going to shimmer because they're pearl. But you can use, all these can be used for beads. I think I've already done this one. I'll just roll them all through. Well, I'll even do this one that had the hole in it. The air. No, that one's not going to work. But there you go. This is one version of an Aurora Borealis cane. And it just reminds you of all the different colors that are in the sky. And you can just do all kinds of things with this. You could use it to cover, just say if this was the top of a pill bottle. You could put it over top of this, smooth it down. And wouldn't that make a beautiful pill bottle top? Or it can be the top of anything. Just want to show you some of the different things you can do with this type of cane. But have fun with it. Make your own. Change your colors. One thing you could do, if you really wanted to make it look like the real Aurora Borealis, would be to leave the red out and just use the gold, the green, and the blue. And let the blue be on the outside. If I could show you, like if I take this red off, and this red off, even though some of it's still on there, but if you look at that, that looks more like the actual sky, because it's lots of greens and yellows and golds mixed in with the dark sky. So that would look more like the Aurora Borealis. But I just wanted to, do this. It was a quick cane. I came across a request. I printed the request when she made it. And, or no, I didn't print it. I wrote it down, and then I kept it on a sheet of to-do, and I went to print my to-do list today, and I saw this on there, and I thought, well, let me do that. Because this is just an awesome cane to play with. There's just so much you can do. So this is my version of an Aurora Borealis cane. I may do another one doing the just the blues and the golds and the greens. So I hope you like it. Come back up again soon for another polymer clay video. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, this is Gayle. And if you watched my last video, which was my version of an Aurora Borealis cane, I mentioned that I was going to do a different version, and this is going to be that version. So what I want to do, I've trimmed, I've conditioned 3 different colors of clay. This is peacock pearl, 18 karat gold, and bright green pearl. And you can see I rolled them into little strips and I overlapped them. And I'm going to run these through the pasta machine a few times to get a blend going, and then I'll be back. Okay, here it is. And I allowed it to get a little bit wider. I let it get to the width of my pasta machine. And that's okay. It's all going to come out great. But I am going to fold this in half. And roll it through the pasta machine this way. Now this is on the thickest setting. So now I'm going to roll it at a number 3. And I think I'll go to a number 5. This may be thin enough. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold the end over and roll it to make sure there's no air in there, and start rolling this up. Then I'm going to take an acrylic block and continue rolling, and I'm pressing as I'm rolling so that I don't get any air in there. Then every once in a while pick it up and press your ends in. I got this, I pressed too hard and it wasn't round anymore. There. I'm not rolling this very straight, but you're going to see it's going to turn out just fine anyway. So I'm going to flatten it out. This end didn't do too well because it got wider as I rolled. So this end we will not use. We'll use this end as the top. And this is done exactly the same way as the other, except I'm using just these colors of clay. So let me cut into this and just see what we've got. Okay, we're beginning to see some color there. I'm waiting for it to get to the green, and there's the green. As you can see, it's beginning to change. Every slice is going to be different. And that's why I flip it over, because the inside is going to be different from the outside. But just keep slicing like this. Then you can roll this through a pasta machine. I'm going to leave it at number 5. And these are what you get when you leave the red out and only use the blue, the green, and the gold. Looks a little bit more like the Aurora Borealis. So just thought I would add this on with the 3 colors instead of the 4. So hope you like it. Come back again for another tutorial next week. Bye-bye.